There are 5 main steps to the screen printing process: washing the screen, coating the screen, creating stencils, exposing your screen, and printing. There are a few supplies you will need before you can start screen printing: a hose or light pressure washer, a sink or washout booth, emulsion, a scoop coater, a darkroom or dark box to store your screen in, an exposure unit or UV light, squeegee, screen printing ink, and material to print on. So, once you've acquired your screen, the first thing you need to do is wash the screen with a degreaser. There are many commercially available degreasers, but Dawn dish soap works fine. First, you're going to spray the screen with water to get it wet. Then you're going to spray on your degreaser and rub it in with your hands on both sides of the screen. Then, once you're done with that, you can spray the entire screen off with water to wash the degreaser away. It is important to wash and degrease your screen before you coat it with emulsion every time, because any oil or grease on the screen may interfere with the emulsion adhering to it. Your screen must be coated in a dark room because emulsion is UV light sensitive. If you don't have a permanent darkroom, you could easily create a temporary darkroom by turning off all the lights and covering any windows. So, to coat your screen with emulsion, you should first stir the emulsion up. Next, pour some emulsion into your scoop coater. Pour enough to fill the entire bottom of the scoop, but don't add too much. You don't want to fill up the entire scoop. Once you have the emulsion in the scoop, pop any big bubbles that you see. Once you're ready to coat your screen, prop it up against the wall. Grab both sides of the scoop coater and press it gently against the screen. Tilt the scoop so that the flat edge is flush with the screen, and you should see the emulsion pour against the screen. While holding your scoop against the screen, move the scoop up while it is tilted, and you should see a coat of emulsion on the screen. Do this a few times on each side to get a good smooth coat. Once finished, store your screen in a dark environment, such as a darkroom or a light-proof box. Emulsion usually takes a few hours to dry. A screen coated with emulsion should be stored with the squeegee side facing up to allow for a smooth print surface later. Remember to keep your screen in the dark away from any UV light until it is exposed. Stencils are generally created in one of 2 ways: by hand or digitally. To create your stencil by hand, draw or paint your design on a transparency sheet using black ink or paint. You want to make sure your design is as opaque as possible to block any light from going through. To create your stencil digitally, use your preferred computer art program to create the design. Once your design is finished, print it out on transparency paper. Remember to print it out at the most opaque and darkest black your printer will allow. If your printer can't print the stencil dark enough, you can try drawing over the stencil with a black marker, or printing multiple stencils and taping them on top of each other. Once your stencils are ready and the emulsion on your screen is dry, you are ready to expose your screen. Remember to keep your screen in the dark until it is exposed. Tape your stencil to the print side of the screen, but keep it a few inches away from the edges of the screen. Make sure that your stencil is facing the correct way when taping it on. From the print side of the screen, the stencil should be mirrored, and when you flip the screen around and look through the squeegee side, the stencil should look correct. Now you should be ready to expose your screen. Experienced screen printers may have a machine called an exposure unit. These machines have settings to accurately expose a screen based on emulsion and screen type. There are some options for beginner screen printers to expose their screens. A 500 watt work light with the glass removed emits enough UV to expose the emulsion. Jury-rigged methods such as this require longer exposure times and aren't as reliable as using an exposure machine. Once your screen is properly exposed and the emulsion is hard, you need to wash out the unexposed emulsion with water to reveal the stencil on your screen. With the stencil exposed into your screen, you should be ready to print. For this video, I will demonstrate screen printing on cardstock. My screen is attached to a wooden board with some hinge clamps to allow me to easily print my design on paper. The first thing you're going to do is tape over any part of the screen you don't want ink to go through, such as holes in the emulsion or other stencils on your screen you aren't printing at the moment. Next, scoop some ink out and place it on one side of your design, usually the top. Take your squeegee and rub the edge of it in the ink, and then push down and pull the squeegee at a 45-degree angle across the screen. Once you're finished screen printing, remove the tape and you can wash the ink off your screen.